I now give the floor to the Minister of Russian Federation.
Mr. President, we wish to thank the Special Representative of the Secretary General and Head of the United Nations Organization Stabilization Mission in the DRC, Madam Zarugi, for her comprehensive briefing. We've closely read the recent report of the Secretary General on the efforts of peacekeepers in the DRC. We concur that the security situation in the eastern provinces remains fraught. We are particularly troubled by Kivu and Ituri, where inter-ethnic violence and attacks against civilians go on unabated. There's a significant threat that continues to be posed by the Allied Democratic Forces, the ADF. In recent months, they have significantly stepped up the clashes of the Congolese army. We are very much troubled against this backdrop, by the growing number of civilian casualties. This has already led to resurgent grievances against peacekeepers in Beni and in other cities. Attacks by illegal armed groups and inter-ethnic conflict persists, even in the relatively prosperous Tanganyika. The situation in the country is compounded by the political crisis in the country, which has already led to the decision taken by the president to disband a coalition of former President Kabila's supporters. We hope to witness a reduction in political tensions in Kinshasa through a resolution of problems at the constitutional level. Mr. President, at the same time, there are glimmers of hope. The Congolese authorities have vanquished the latest Ebola outbreak. Despite the generally complicated humanitarian situation, effective measures are being undertaken to prevent the spread of the coronavirus pandemic. We voice support for the efforts of President Tshisekedi to bring in neighboring states in resolving problems in the east of the country. We believe an important mediation role is played in the peace process by regional organizations, specifically the South African Development Community, SADC, and the ICGLR. We trust that this process will be furthered by the new regional strategy prepared by the Special Envoy on the Great Lakes region. We note the contribution to stabilization of eastern provinces as made by peacekeeping missions through nimble responses to myriad security threats. Non-military methods of addressing the issues posed by illegal armed groups are also addressed. These include strategies devised and rooted in partnership with local organizations. I refer to strategies for the disarmament, demobilization, reintegration of former combatants. We welcome measures to expand cooperation between MONUSCO and the armed forces of the DRC to boost the effectiveness of the efforts of the Blue Helmets, including the Force Intervention Brigade, the FIB. Mr. President, this month the Security Council has an important task before it, namely extending the mandate of the peacekeepers for another year. We stand ready to engage in constructive efforts on the relevant Security Council resolution. We trust that its sponsors will manage to draft a balanced document, a document focused on concrete objectives for the mission. We continue to believe that any decisions vis-a-vis the configuration of MONUSCO, including the Force Intervention Brigade, any such decisions need to be taken by accounting for the situation on the ground and with a thorough calibration of the priorities both of Kinshasa and the troop-contributing countries. In this connection, we support a flexible approach to this issue as set out in the joint strategy for the phased and responsible withdrawal of peacekeepers from the DRC on the basis of criteria and benchmarks as set out in this document. To conclude, Mr. President, I wish to assure you of the readiness of the Russian Federation, inter alia, as a participation of the Group of Friends of the Great Lakes region, to continue to help facilitate the peace process in the DRC and to help ensure stabilization in the Great Lakes region overall. Thank you.
I thank the Minister of Russian Federation for his statement.